In Big People Things School of Life episode about book smarts versus street smarts, Marlon and Brittany both agree that no matter your school of thought, relationships can give you an edge in life. Here's the crux of what was shared.
A lot of it isn't even about being street smart or educated. A lot of it is networking and knowing the right people and having the right relationships. You know, there was actually an argument on Twitter the other day about, you know, nepotism and how people get jobs because somebody knows you. But, you know, this is a very real human transaction. If I know Marlon, I'm more likely to open a door for more Marlon or connect somebody to use his business. And there is a difference between abusing that and leveraging that. And I think that
Yes.
young people need to know that it's very important to sow seeds in relationships. And I think that is the biggest currency that you can have, whether or not you're educated or you're street smart. It always comes back to relationship.
So first, I want to clarify that we don't support nepotism as it's usually interpreted. That is favoritism that's not based on merit. Now, as Jamaicans, we often adapt language to suit our own purposes. So when we say something green, we don't mean it is verdant and fresh. Quite the opposite. We mean it stank, smell offensive, awful. So think of how we use nepotism in this way. We're not talking about things like hiring your indisciplined, arrogant, weeded cousin because your auntie who raised you asked you to take care of him, right? We're talking about things like helping to get an interview for the hardworking, diligent defender that's on your community football team with you. On his own merit, he will do the interview, he will get the job, he will keep the job because of who he is. So with that said, now let's answer a student question that we got on our YouTube channel. Mali Akile asked, what are the best ways I can network? Because it's obvious links run the place nowadays. Start with this in mind. How can I help other people or contribute to my society? You might have a lot of things going on like school or work or family matters that fill your mind and your time, and you might feel like you don't have space for anything else. But the real question to ask yourself and to decide on is, do you want to keep your cycle of service and influence limited to just yourself and your family? Are those the only people you will ever want to help or ever want to give you help? If you do, that's your decision. Networking means widening what I call your cycle of service to your community and your greater society. As you help and give back, a wider group of people have the opportunity to help and give to you. So there's also tons of other benefits of networking. The major ones, I believe, is living a purposeful life. Serving others can make you feel so strong and capable and useful and clean, like a goodie or a gooders. I'm really not supposed to use those phrases, but I think you know what I mean, right? So approach networking with the thinking, how can I help someone who needs what I have to offer? And how can I contribute to a group that has the same interests as mine? The job recommendations are usually just a byproduct of that. So a good start is with school, your alumni association, or PTA if you have a young child. Your old schoolmates and teachers or the principal and other parents might have some idea of who you are and your work potential. Continue to serve them, and in the future, they may be willing to recommend you. If you're already in a job, join your staff foundation or volunteer groups. It's where you work. So that's a great place to start offering your service so that those who you want to have influence among can see you. And if where you work is part of a larger group of companies, it would make moving from one business unit to the next a lot easier if people have seen you serving. There's also getting involved with clubs like Key Club, Kiwanis, Rotaract, or other community clubs, as they tend to host a lot of mixers and other events that allow you to meet new people. Volunteer with charities like Food for the Poor, the Red Cross, United Way, or other organizations. They always need helping hands, and they always have helping hands from a wide cross-section of society, helping you to meet a lot of people. Take up a sport or hobby like football, cricket, netball, hiking, fishing. They are all over the place. I've even seen running clubs where people just get together and their fun thing to do is running different 5Ks, 10Ks, marathons. But you really get to meet a lot of interesting people this way. People who share your own interests. And last, but definitely the most important, there's a huge networking opportunity in the space where our primary purpose is to serve God. Yes, go to church to spend time with God, but in the process, be open to spending more time with His people, who are usually more than happy to help open doors for you. The key, as I said, in any of these situations is not to go in and be the wallflower or the opportunist who just really quickly want to grab people and start begging them things. No, introduce yourself. Ask appropriate questions about the group. Take your time and get to know other people. Don't immediately look to see what you can get. See how you can help, which means don't wait until you're in need to build a network. Start by being a useful part of someone else's network. I volunteered a lot when I was younger, and to be honest, that's how I met people who later opened doors for me. I volunteered, I think, at first when I was in high school. I joined a lot of the clubs there. But my most memorable was Key Club. I remember our club taking children from Maxfield Park Children's Home to Hope Zoo. We showed them the animals, bought food for them, and some little cheap toys, that the vendors would sell at the gate. And we were each assigned a child. So I had my little boy that I gave a tour of the place and that I walked with. It felt so great to have that experience. It stayed with me all my life because I thought these children have lost so much and they don't have the benefits of a typical family upbringing, which I appreciate. And it's something I don't take for granted. So if I could give them a fun older sister just for a day, it might bring just a little bit of hope and encouragement to them. And it turns out it also made me feel really good. So I've since only had a few periods in my life where I'm not volunteering, where I've just taken a break and rested and then a wheel and come again. But most of the people in my life that I know are from me serving and helping others. And it did not cost me money. Well, not always, because you do pay Key Club dues, and in some instances there are small fees for club dues. You give money towards charities, but it wasn't a big dent in what I was earning, and I was not earning a lot. So are there other ways that you think young people could build their network? Let us know in the comments below. Also, keep your questions coming, whether in the comments or by email to big.ppl.tings@gmail.com. And remember, people is PPL. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter as well at big.ppl.tings, and like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you'd like to help. Know this, everyone has something to give, whether it's time, energy, information, a kind word, money, or whatever. We all have something we can be generous with. So thanks for watching. And as I wrap up, I leave you with this. Many people are nice to a generous person. Everyone wants to be friends with someone who gives gifts.